press the button already. Hi, welcome to Chloe Ariell Soul Sessions. Whimsical Wednesdays chat and channeling. Got midgie bites, sandfly bites all over me. God. I got bitten like 2 days ago. Just go like this. I'm in a cool little camping ground. Got a fire over there. Just keep on walking this way. I've got this amazing lake next to me, right? And I had this feeling that I'll connect into the water element or the water sprite, water spirit of the lake. Because ever since I got here, it's just like beautiful, like shining, sparkling on the water with this gorgeous lily pads. But I don't know. As usual, I kind of have an idea and then the radio signal wants to talk about something different. Wow, well, what a change we see in the world. Petrol prices are through the roof, as predicted. You know, the war, what does that do? But look, there's a lot of water around here. Want to hear what the water has to say about it? Can you hear that? It's so beautiful. It's a bit of a creek. Goes out on the other side of the creek. Mass evacuations of areas of desert. Humans require water to survive. Going through a web. There are many that will insist upon staying in certain parts of the world at their demise. It is important that we seek refuge in places outside of our familiar territories. Goodness me, look at that lake. Just see it through the trees there. Many parts of the world will be inundated with water where there was none prior. I can see a low-lying area, and I'm actually hearing the word Bangladesh. And you know, timing's very interesting because you do feel sometimes when I do this sort of work, it feels like predictive. But I mean, I was talking about the petrol prices a year and a half ago. I was like, be aware, but it's like a year and a half later. I mean, well, it's kind of like, it's common sense. It feels like if I was an economist, it'd be like, well, that's natural. Petrol prices go up, therefore, you know, logistics go up, food goes up. So many of us have been prepping for like a couple of years. It's like, oh God. But I'm just going to continue on and with that radio signal again. Alright. Mass awakenings also persist at the same time, as do mass deprivations. It is part and parcel. Choosing which one you belong to and what frequency and resonance depends on the psychology, the mental headspace of the person. If they are continuously running in fear, you are taken into survivalism. It is very important to trust your intuition and to not jump into fear, because there's much media that will amplify more fear. Best thing you can do is prepare for winter in regards to the people that have already put food aside. But when that food stops, you must continue to garden. Even in places, households that don't have gardens, I can see a big window, and I can see a table put in front of that window, and I can see greens being, any greens that you can grow. You can grow in a windowsill, you can grow outside on a balcony. If you have a community garden, you can grow. Water, filtered, is the thing. Filtered, clear, clean water as we go forward in the future due to the occupations, is what I'm hearing. I can hear the word water used in war, turned off. Turned off, dear ones. And is this like in suburban areas? Yes, actually. Places that have riots or pushback. Gosh, all you need to do is switch the water off. Oh my God. Water use as a force. Look at this water through the trees here. Be aware to tap into water if needed, rainwater. Keep water separate in places if you can. Collect water if you need to. As much as you think there's chemical runoff in regards to chemtrails and water in the clouds, there's much more on the land and in the water pipes that are unfiltered. Gosh, got a march fly here. Got to keep on walking. If you stay too still long enough, gonna get a march fly on me. A little bit of what we're saying here is true. Be open to nomadic lives, moving around. What are people stuck in? They've got jobs and they've got to have money and, mortgages and all of that. I can hear, pack up and leave when you need to. I've been saying this since 2020. That's why I got a van and I moved around in hip camps and stuff like that. I just go on the weekends now, days when I have off, go into natural places, but it's not so easy for a lot of people. You see, they are stuck in a certain mindset, a mindset of lack, a mindset of this is only what I can do, instead of being open to possibilities. Moving inland for many in Australia and to higher places. We've been hearing this for a long time, but it's important, and I persist to say it, for preparedness. And who am I talking to? Feels like a water spirit. Look at the water. No wonder I'm talking to the water element now. Look at the water spirit. Isn't that just gorgeous? So, back in the day, my grandmother's people and, people like in my Irish heritage and other parts of my DNA, we were closer to the earth, right? And we would listen and we'd talk to the water element, right? The spirit of the place and the water. So this is a water element. This is a water sprite, a water spirit that I'm talking to. Just important as the fire. We want to make correlations between the fire element and the watermelon element. The fire element has been hijacked and used in technological ways in a militaristic fashion, as we have seen in other times, Lahaina, and other places. So too will the element of water be used in conjunction with this way of being militaristic in fashion. You will hear it over the next couple of years. Water being used in this way, poisoned. Degradation of your species and the pineal gland. And I can see a Draco influence on the fluoridation of the water, stopping your cosmic connections, your consciousness connection through the pineal gland, and deactivating it. Some people can bridge past that. They can bridge past it through meditation, understanding that there is all possibilities. How does one decalcify you know, the pineal gland of the fluoridation. Pure water will do this for you, you know. If you have the energy of pure water, how does one get the energy of pure water? Go to untouched places deep in the mountains and a spring. It's very important, dear ones. You can actually activate your pineal gland through the deep minerals inside of the earth, gathering at a natural spring water place. I know there's plenty in Victoria. I'm not sure about any up here. There are some places in the mountains that have been tapped over, concreted over on purpose. What about your water here? Is it safe enough to drink? Yes, some parts where it's moving continuously. I feel like I want to have this in the background. Look at that water. Water wars. It is not fair that humanity creates a militaristic fashion with one of their elements that is so vital for the human being, and the sustenance and the nourishment of the human body is much needed with pure water. As we move into more of a crystalline energy on this planet, the higher vibration water can be purified with the sun. You leave a glass or a jug of water in the sun with shungite, is what I'm hearing. Anything else? A couple of drops of, I don't know what this is, zinc? It feels like zinc. I'm not sure why, but can you get drops of zinc in? Apparently you can. Don't know if that's zinc oxide, I'm not really sure. We're just talking to the water here, so I'm just going to drops water of zinc oxide, pure zinc. Something about the element of zinc in water. Yeah. Remember ages ago we were talking to the sea, and there was we were talking to other beings actually, and they were talking about Celtic sea salt and sea salt having some amazing anatomical elements. Ormus is the word. So something about these drops that go into the water that can clear the water of any toxins. I feel like I want to say, I wonder if there's like shungite. I'm going to have to look this up because I don't think I've got the library for it, but I'm hearing zinc for some reason. Not a physicist, not a scientist, you know. Drops of clear zinc water. This is so beautiful, you know. The natural world always ends up getting brought into war, and it's sad. But then again, how many times on this planet have we regenerated because we have had to? And sometimes many times we have had to go through the progression of ages, pole shift, and then we have to start again. It's the planet's reset button. Luckily for us, we have a reset button, thank goodness. But humans, you have to be smarter. And this is why we have channelers and conduits connecting into the natural world, and we are giving you a heads up. Be aware that the great shifts are happening in regards to the sun and the planet and to natural places and water. And I can see I'm going into now a city, clairvoyantly going into a city, and it looks like a harbour city, and all the city skyscrapers are just on the edge of that water. And I can see the inlet rising, and the water is coming up. And I see it lashing on the edges of the steps up to the skyscraper. And we are warning you, these places will change. Show me what maybe I'll just focus on Australia right now, but what does it look like in regards to the future we're looking at? 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, all these years going pretty much the next decade. We're looking at great changes on this planet. And I see a horse. It's almost like, I don't know if we go backwards for a while. It's like a horse and cart. I can see a horse. Again, you will be forced to work with the animal kingdom. Again. It is off the charts. And it is on the calendar. It is on this timeline. Is it on this timeline? Is it on this timeline that this is going to happen? In all timelines it will happen. Not to increase fear. Oh, that was the wrong way. It's like we're going the wrong way. We are going the wrong way, aren't we? In regards to technology. I didn't realise I could go through the gate. I think there's something to this. Oh. I go through the gate. Oh, don't go around the gate. Everyone's going to go through it at the same time. And you will wonder. And the people that go into fear and want to stay in places because they've worked so hard and all their assets are in one spot. I'm seeing the cities really affected, like big cities, right? So what have we been saying over the course of every single conduit and every single channeler? You move away from the cities, because most cities are surrounded by ports. Cities surrounded by portal land, ports like port cities, right? Water, port cities. Forcibly moved. I see families carrying buckets, creeks, collectives, tents. From now to then, there's a lot of like wars and things that start and then stop and then start and then stop. It just doesn't take hold. It's not going with the way that they planned. On that one timeline where you've got annihilation of the planet and all the species, it's not going to be like that. The timeline that we're on, it stops and starts, it stops and starts. Can other people be in other timelines? Yes, that is complex. But there are people living other lives. Maybe even the person that is your partner, the person that you connect with, your family. If there is one higher vibration person, they will lead the others out of the cities. Again, we're doing the out of the cities things. Out of the cities, into natural places. But what about those natural places? Not all natural places are going to be like safe, right? Like the water's going to go everywhere. The wind comes, the winds of change. Just as we speak of that, there is the water. Fear not, loved ones, for we love you. Even if you have forgotten about us as an element, even if you have forgotten about us, we understand intrinsically you are connected and you cannot live without us. You cannot live without water. Try living without water for a week. You will die. You are intrinsically made of the element of water. It is us. You are us completely. You are connected to the water element so intrinsically. We even carry the memory of the future timelines and the past timelines. For people that are still connected to the lands, the water has a voice. Do you want me to go over to the water? And I might just go over to the water now. I've been told all day and yesterday, right? You're going to speak to the water element. I'm like, okay. Look at this. It's so pretty. Alright, water element. Let's go and just take some water. Now this is a creek. Obviously, don't drink water that is not moving and, you know, has dead things in it. So I'm just going to feel into it. I'm not going to drink it. I'm just going to I'm going to look into it actually. So I'm going to kind of look into the water and see if that activates any clairvoyance. I see war. I see women running. Iranians. I see people running on both sides actually. It's not just one or the other. They will destroy themselves. As chaos ensues chaos, it resonates and it amplifies more chaos. That is the plan, to rid the Middle East of all people. I'm seeing Syria, Lebanon, to get everyone actively involved and to clear all the people out of this area, to keep the Stargate militaristically under control. The Stargate to a particular planet with high resources and control and connections there. I've heard this before. Afghanistan, you know. But fear not. I also see the water rising there and changing harbours. The place turns lush and green and almost jungle-like in fashion. Looks very, very different in the future as the poles change. Many people are being harassed and stopped from saying this. Some of you are warriors and you will continue on the mission of helping this planet and the grids relieve itself of dark control energies. And people may belittle consciousness or psychics or intuits or channelers. We are one of the last port of calls of truth and authenticity on this planet that is full of corruption and agendas where people want no spirituality and annihilation of this planet, as does the overlords under that Draco influence. It takes a lot of strength to speak out. We understand the cost of many that have decided to speak out. We understand also the importance of helping people that are still here, that can hear the message, and it resonates within the embodied physicality of the person listening. You understand when you get truth, you feel it in the heart. It resonates in the body and then you get goosebumps. That is God bumps. That is the truth. Now feel into it as we are speaking through the conduit, and we are talking about the waters rising all over the planet in different parts. Some parts you will be quite astounded as the crust of the continent in certain places may have been below sea level but then rises up. It depends on the shift of where it ends up in the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. These places are shifting. My goodness, it's so different. I see North America and South America kind of like, you know how it's like this, it's on a vertical angle. I can kind of see it on an angle like this. I've also seen the same thing with the continent of Africa. that complete change, right hemisphere. That was in the session we did last week with green grass on the right side and on the left the Sahara Desert. So it's gradually and slowly shifting over the years, although on a pace that has not been seen before. Some parts of the sky would dim with light. It would not be so bright anymore. What do you mean by that? Some parts of the earth will have more grey skies and more cloudy, like Antarctica, right? Currently there's not a lot of light. The sun does come through sometimes. But as the poles shift, the electromagnetic energy can get a bit chaotic in places. And as it gets a bit chaotic in places, there is localized weather patterns. Centrifugal motion shifts. Does not come to a complete stop. It is just the electromagnetic lines, like a torus field of the planet. So you've got the torus field that's going out like this, right? Some people are speaking upon this. Some people have been told to shush. Some people who are brave souls continue to speak on this. We are not trying to say anything that is not true. The birds know it. The bees know it. The water knows it. The water remembers thousands of years ago. It is kept in the tablets of the earth, the tablets of the knowledge in the morphic genetic field of the planet. The library of earth has risen in civilizations, and then the civilizations fall. It is kept not just in energetics, but in the physicality as well. You understand, the Kali Yuga? It is a small script. Much of that knowledge has been hidden. It is also showing the progression of ages and how the poles do change over time. They want to keep it from the public. So people do not move away from places that will disintegrate. So this is why we're speaking about it, not to bring in fear. We're seeing a lot of changes over 7, 8, 9 years. And in some ways, people move away from certain places and they move into safer areas. There are parts of the Appalachian Mountains that are very safe and will be continuously safe. But there are other low-lying areas that water will rise. And similarity with places like Australia. There is lots of water that becomes inside the inner land that was not there before. I've seen this before, right? Coming down from the Gulf of Carpentaria, it's below sea level there. But I also see the water in the seas becoming more voluminous, is the word. This is just a part of how it is, how it works. Again, you are very much in your infancy in regards to understanding all of this gravitational pull and how it affects the geophysical nature of the planet. There you go, here's the water again. No wonder the water element wanted to speak in here. Look at this. So you're saying there's like pockets of water under the planet. Cracks will form in the platelets, and as the cracks will form, there's water that comes out from the cracks. Much more and more activation and volcanic activity, which is already happening. It is already here. Although the controllers think that they have control of earthquakes, in some regards they do. In a lot of regards, I don't let them take over control of me completely. I'm moving and shifting and awaking from my sleep And I will continue to throttle certain places and shake certain places. Some small islands will go into the sea. Some larger continent islands will start to remove some of the continents into the ocean. Some places will rise, which is quite surprising to many. This has been actually told to be stop being reported. There's just too many examples of this. It's quite interesting. The water element. I say all I say in truth and authenticity. It is the highest vibration and frequency. I will not lie to people that have the ears to listen. It's not to say this out of fear. It is to say it out of awareness. Are we looking at like tsunamis and stuff? Because I could feel that there was a tsunami. I kept on seeing the one in California to Japan. Timeline shifting too. Do I see, is that still going to happen? I see water lapping at the shores of places. It's like an all over thing. You are also scared humans. You have a very strong survivalism in your mind, which can be worked in the positives, but when in the negatives, it can be activated, creating chaos, because you all want to survive. Of course we do. Maybe some people don't. I don't know. Some people are not about that. They're just like, oh, well, if I'm going to die here, I'll go die here. I like the trees. I don't feel like you get much voice to skull when you're in trees, I mean, at all. You know. Water element, warning about the waters going forward. Water element used in wars. Greedy people taking over water because it's control again. Agriculture, farming, I'm hearing. It's beautiful in the trees here. Always important to come back to nature. Not get pulled into the fear. Don't watch too much news as well. This feels like, again, you get your energy loosed on. I think the main thing is just to have this in the back of your mind. Not in fear. Just have a plan, you know, like you have a safety plan. That's all. You know, start collecting things that you'd need for camping, you know. Seeds, I'm thinking seeds, you know. Every time, the thing is, like, I'm not a wealthy person. You think you can figure that out. I've got no agenda. No one's paying me any money. That's why when you see someone with a lot of things and they're talking, they're like, oh yeah, CIA paid me this much this week, you know. No agenda. Anyway, I shouldn't talk about that. Just a conduit that cares. I try not to go. I know I'm like everyone else, you know, like I don't want to go into fear because I'm thinking, I get the information, right? It's completely unfiltered. There it is in its purest form. I want to ask, like, is the H2O element on other planet? Yes, it is vast and is connected to a cloud-like formation, the cosmic web, that is connected to all planets, so that water comes from space too. Yes, it can. How's that possible? Isn't that what's like causes? Of course it is possible. I'm seeing now like kind of a scientific thing, okay? Like clouds and like the sun going, and elements of water and coming from space, and then sun energy going up. Like it's on that, I'm hearing like outer ionosphere or stratosphere. Don't quote me on that, but it's like the outer sphere. Bad luck, bing bong, to all the people that think it's flat earth. It's not flat. Sorry, probably got like a few less subscribers now. I don't care. I'm just going to say I've got no agenda here, just saying how it is. There are some physical forms, science that is heliocentric, that is fixed. Just like a tree is a tree, carbon is carbon. There are some laws of the universe that are fixed, specifically on this planet. There are other satellites and bodies that have a different fixture, have a different look about them, are less surrounded by sky, have artificial skies, some. Just like the inner earth has a sun, Helios, is what I'm hearing, in the middle, heliosphere, in the middle of the earth. And there are different dimensional pockets of reality that also have cities and caves inside of them. How to access these partitions or dimensional realities is through shifting your frequency and resonance into one of a different form, as you have heard from the Sasquatch and the Yowies that do that. We have lost touch with our knowledge of this. We have been lowered on purpose. Our gifts and abilities have been thwarted in many humans by agendas, Dracos and other Luciferian orders, to keep us minimal and at a lower standard. And this is why there's so much corruption and control in areas of spirituality or consciousness and understanding, disclosure. There are many corrupt incels that want to push a certain agenda. Many of them have not even had experiences in these areas and say that they do. Many of them are under mind control and unethical hypnotherapy practices that want to push a certain agenda. And for the people that are survivors of these programs, they feel like they don't have enough information. When they do, it's just their brain with MK Ultra mind control has been fractured into jigsaw pieces. I don't know why I'm talking like this. This is very interesting. This is still the water element. Jigsaw puzzle pieces, compartmentalized. Factions, again, innocence used in and for militaristic fashion to change the timelines. But we were always going to come to this point, because there's only so much of a timeline that you can shift when the planetary changes go ahead anyway. We always end up coming out to a positive golden era timeline. It's almost like they're shooting themselves in the foot. So much power and corruption. And then they get to a point where they can't go on anymore. They actually understand it, but they don't understand it at the same time. They feel that they continue their power and control, and people will listen, and they will hijack the consciousness of humanity and the knowledge through media. But they don't understand that they cannot get your soul. They cannot own your soul. So listen to your soul. Listen to the tunes. Listen to nature, which is close to your soul. Listen. I am humanity, said the tree. You are very much a part of us. We miss you. We want you back in touch with us. We want the children to play under the trees again, instead of on the screens. It's good for developing brains. Climb the trees. Parents that are listening to this understand that your children will be smarter if they reconnect into the animal kingdom. Plant. Build practical skills again. It will be very much needed in the future. Teach your sons and daughters how to build a house, build a cubby house, connect to others, be a part of a team, learn to live with each other, put your egos aside, have a spiritual practice, something where your soul can flourish. I just thought even if you worship a tree or a leaf or a little plant growing, so simplest in its form, comes back to the basics, away from this controlled robotic transhumanist agenda. The wind is getting very loud. The winds of change. It will become so loud, the winds of change, when they push all the militaristic thing on the television. Turn the television off if you haven't already. You can hear a plane going overhead. They want to stop everything. Stop, stand still. Why do you think that is? It will be the cost of petrol. The prices will be so high that people do not travel anymore. What do you think the point of that is? Control and manipulation of your consciousness, hijacking of belief. Alright, it's very interesting. Again, look at the trees, look at the lake through there. You can put your consciousness inside water and shift reality with the love frequency. Clear and filtered water is very important going forward. I see rain tanks. If you have the money to put a rain tank, or you can even get the cheaper rain tanks. Thing is though, rents are so high. Let's just talk to basic level. Like, I just can't believe the cost of rents and everything, like $650, $700, $800 for like a 3-bedroom place. It's like unbelievable. Like, you don't have time for savings. Like, the cost of living is just through the roof. So no wonder the thing on food is grow your own food and keep some chickens if you can. Not a lot of people can do that. So I think you're better off getting a van and travelling around and going to food markets and stuff. But changing world we live in. Start talking to each other. You're going to need it. It sounds like the last 20 to 2024 and 25. Yeah. Alright, feels like a natural ending. And I think I'll do another Whimsical Wednesdays chat and channeling where I go live at some stage. It's just funny, someone messaged me the other day, they're going, I remember the last channeling you did on the beach, where that F-16 or F-18 flew over the top of me. I was on the ground. That was crazy. That was so crazy. I'm just talking to trees, what can you do? Trees in the water. Just talking to the trees and the water. See you later. Bye.